Okay, I'm just writing hold on that.
Okay, I'm calling this meeting back from executive session to number 6.
I think we should have this roll call just.
Oh, sorry, roll call vote, please, call it.
Okay, as a roll call, Supervisor Hewitt.
Here.
Trustee Robinson.
Here.
Trustee Page.
Here.
Trustee McGovern.
Here.
Trustee Geis. Assessor Trowbridge. Commissioner Young.
Here.
Okay, and so agenda item number 6 is possible action regarding the elimination, creation, consolidation, modification of township employment positions and employees. Does Attorney Ross Seckler wish to speak? Or does Attorney Carolyn wish to speak?
I think it's the board's prerogative to make a motion.
Does anybody want to make a motion?
Do we make a motion? Do we make a motion to, with what we agreed? I don't understand, to take action?
So if the action
I know,
is
but I don't
that,
under- okay.
and so it's the motion that you all have come to after, at the executive committee.
Okay, after careful consideration and much discussion among the trustees and supervisor, we have made the decision to make a motion to eliminate the operations manager and director of senior services roles, because we believe we have staff who can cover those positions so that we don't have a break in continuity services. For budgetary reasons. Budgetary reasons.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call vote.
Trustee Geis.
They're getting rid of Diane's people.
I'm sorry, Trustee Geis, you said, right? Yeah. Trustee Page.
Yes.
Trustee McGovern.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Supervisor Hewitt.
No, this is a profound mistake.
The vote's no. Got it.
Any other? So the motion passes. Any public comment? In-person public comment, we have.
Yes.
No, there was public comment. It hasn't.
It has to be. So is there any in-person public comment? Mr. Spiegel.
Trustee Geist, you're right. I don't know what the hell is going on around here, and it's not because I'm misinformed. There are two things. One is that this is the first administration. You have implied that public commenters are misinformed.
I did not.
Trustee guys, this is the time for public.
No.
comment, so we have
I
3 minutes.
I agree. That
Thank
was
you.
my comment. I did not mean to
Thank you.
impute that to you.
Thank you.
Although I did kind of cross that line, so I apologize.
Thank you.
The point being, first of all, this is the first township administration I've paid attention to. So I don't know what's normal. The other thing is, trustee guys, not to pick on you, but you have made this point repeatedly, like, you know, why don't I get together with you and talk about it?
Yeah.
I'm quite certain that any of the trustees and Supervisor Hewitt, if I had a one-on-one with them, they could support any points they make to the extent that I would not have a way to argue back. Because this is your job, not your full-time job. And I'm just a voter. I am a relatively new senior, still getting used to the idea. In I voted for Supervisor Hewitt, I voted for you, trustee Geis, I voted for you, trustee Page, and I voted for trustee Robinson's predecessor. Not because I had a big idea of exactly what should be done, but it was the theme of providing services. And that's a democratic value. I voted for Democrats. That's my bias. And I kind of feel like I'm not getting what I voted for. And I just feel like I need to be here to witness this process. I feel like I'm not, that this board is not responding to the values I voted for, and I don't think it's all Supervisor Hewitt's fault. That is my impression and why I'm here.
Thank you.
And as a senior, I meant to say, I'm still pretty fortunate. I don't need all these services, but I want a bias, for lack of a better word, toward being helpful, toward providing services. And I'm just not seeing that spirit here.
Thank you. Do you have anything, Mr. Brubaker?
Hard to add to what Mark said, the process of sharing, we should be sharing ourselves.
I have public comments.
And then, is there anybody on this board
Yeah,
that has
I
more
have
public
public
comment?
comment. You know, it was unfortunate that we were put in a situation where we had to make a tough decision. You make tough decisions in your home every day. We had to make a tough decision. It was mentioned that I have offered numerous times for you guys to sit and have coffee with me and have a conversation with me. None of you have taken it up. But yet you come here and insult me meeting after meeting, which to me is very cowardice, because I've opened the door for conversation and you clearly just said everybody else would talk to you except me. I'm the one who's offered. I've offered myself over and
I
over
did
again.
not say everybody else.
Excuse me.
But you did, but that's okay. The offer stands because that's the person I am. I know you don't
I
understand.
don't
that.
Excuse me,
understand where you.
Mark,
I'm
Mark,
speaking now though.
please.
I know you don't understand everything that's happening, and it's very difficult when you guys only have one side of a piece and you come here and you hear pieces. We get it. But do you honestly think that 4 people, a bipartisan board, makes the decisions we make because we're not informed? You have to believe that we don't just come here willy-nilly, and to call it a sham is so offensive. We spend countless hours. Shake if you want. But you still don't understand. You sat here and watched some of what goes on. We tried to show you the numbers. We're over budget. And the purchase of a building is not the same budget. You don't say, well, I spent too much here, so I'll go over here and take some money from here. It doesn't work like that. We create budgets to operate within budgets. And I'm gonna say it again, openly and publicly. Anytime you want to sit down and have a conversation with me, the door is open. You guys can sit here and give me death stares, shake your hands at me, stick your fingers in my face. Anything that makes you feel better, I'm okay with that. Because I've been through way more difficult things than your stare downs, okay? I promise you this. But even with all of the unkindness that you've distributed to me, I'm telling you, I would be happy to sit and have coffee with either one of you and talk it through so that you really understand. And really, if you wanted to speak to 2 of us at a time, so you get 2 different perspectives, we can do that. We just can't do 3. Okay? Anytime you want to set that conversation up, I promise you, any board member here would be happy to speak. Would you? Trustee Robinson?
Sure.
Okay. So take us up on it. Don't just come here and complain. Don't just come here and poke fingers at us and accuse us of this and accuse us of that. You've never even sat down and had a conversation with us. And I'm speaking, I live here. I don't just come here and do this. I live in this community. And I have volunteered with seniors. I have played bingo with seniors for years. I care about seniors. Okay, I've done elder care. So until you've done elder care, you don't really understand how lacking resources there. We're not cutting resources. We're just shifting the responsibility for now until we can be in a better place. We're not saying never. We're saying for now, we have to operate fiscally responsibly.
Any other public comment in person? I have a public comment. And so I turned on the timer and I'm gonna share our screen and look at the balance sheet that we had turned in from the accounting department. And understand that this whole question has been an artificially generated question of the hard decision that you all believe that had to be done. And the way I can look at that is by looking at our balance. And any entity with this much assets cannot reasonably say that they are forced to and that they need to financially do what you all have decided to do. And you all have understood that the budget was created underfunded for personnel and gave no direction as to, and also limited the ability to make any decisions to come into a reconciliation. So again, with $11,370,151, it is extremely, and we are one of the wealthiest townships in the county. It is extremely difficult to then say that we are being forced to do this. When you looked at our fund accumulation in the first 2 years, because we were spending so incredibly thriftily, we accumulated over $1 million in accumulated resource, so much so that we couldn't tax and levy this next cycle because of our accumulated funds. So if we have the big picture and understand that in the past, we previously didn't have the services that many other townships right next door, literally in Downers Grove Township, for seniors, they have a whole center that you can go to and have a really awesome, developmentally helpful time. There's the next township, both townships next door, there's so many more resources that we focus for our seniors, because they're also nationally being, especially with COVID, they're dying at a higher rate, and our life expectancy nationally has actually lowered. And as a very actually well-off township with a really clean, with a good tax base, we have decided with this much accumulation to force a decision that isn't at all necessary. So that's where my public comment is. Is there any public comment online? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I have a public comment.
Sure.
$11 million you refer to, over half of that is the road district's money, and you have no claim to it.
Mhm.
It's not to be used for that. Also, the reliability of the clerks that you just referred to. You just accused the bookkeepers of how it was that they were not kept correctly because the general assistant fund is solvent. So there's errors throughout and complete to the books. Thank you.
And I've been trying to get those errors resolved with
You got a lot of
good
time to do it.
accounting. Apparently not allowed to fix those errors. Is there any motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second?
Any discussion? And then a roll call vote?
Trustee Page,
Yes.
trustee McGovern,
Yes.
trustee Robinson.
Yep.
Yes.
Supervisor Hewitt.
Yes.